interest charged. Now the interest charge is equal to what? 15% of the what? The $23,840. And this $23,840 was what? Let's roll back a little so you can see what it was before. It was the what? Outstanding balance. Very good. Alright. And now, what's that equal to? So this 15 that you see I have right here is the 15 there. I'm going to multiply it by this 23,840, and I'm going to divide that answer by this 100, which is equal to $3,576. So the interest charged is equal to $3,576. Alright, so what are we going to do with that? Now amount payable is equal to outstanding balance plus interest charge. So you can work out amount payable two ways. One, by multiplying the monthly installments by the time given, or you add the interest charge to the outstanding what? Balance. Here it is. Now AP here means what? Amount payable. And AP is equal to what now? Your outstanding balance, which is $23,840, plus your interest charge, which is $3,576, which is what you worked out up here. See? Good. Now you can pause the video at this point and calculate. Did you get this for your answer? $27,416. And that is the amount what? Payable. So now that we have the amount payable and we have the down payment, then what can we do now? What are we going to do with these two figures? Let's see. So the hire purchase is equal to what now? Your interest. Sorry, this is your what now? What is this amount? Remember this amount? Your down payment, which is 20% of the what? Cash price. So the $5,960, which is your down payment, will be added to your amount payable, which is $27,416, and therefore your hire purchase is equal to $33,376. Was that easy? Yes, I know it was easy. Another instruction that I'm giving you now. You're going to pause the video, write over the question, change up the numbers, and follow these steps. Now, if you personally want to get the try these questions correct, you must follow my instruction. If you want to do the questions on your worksheet correctly, you must follow my instruction. And let me ask you a question. Are you serious about passing these exams? Alright, if you are, then you'll follow these instructions. And if you fail to follow the instructions, guess what? You were not being honest. And you can determine who you are. Okay, let's continue. Now we're on example number 2. Still on example number 2. But this time we're going to do that. We are going to calculate the amount of each monthly what? Installment. And how are we going to do that? I want you to use the information that you have gathered before and try to find the answer to this question. So pause the video at this moment and try to find the answer to this question. Very good. Alright, so we're going to now calculate the amount of each monthly installment. How do we do this? Now the amount of each monthly installment is equal to what? The amount payable divided by the number of monthly installments. Because remember that the amount payable is equal to what? Time times monthly installments. Let me show you. Now what if you had say 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Now this 4 could be time, and the 3 could be what? Monthly installments, and the 12 could be what? Amount payable. They could use this little trick to help you as well. Now if I want to find the monthly installment, which is M, then I'm going to divide 12 by 3, and then my answer will be what? 4. So notice now that the amount payable right here is divided by what? Time, to give me the number of monthly installments. See? So you can use this 4 times 3 system and use each number to represent something here. So you're given this formula, sorry, before. So all you're basically doing is using this number system right here that I've developed and show you to determine how to use the formula given. And this will help you later on in the lesson. Trust me, you will see it. Try it. Okay? Now, so your answer then should be $1,523.11. Did you get that for your answer? Okay, well done. If you didn't, you need to work it out again. Now, of course, you know I normally will not leave my students high and dry. I must give you a nice little birthday cake, past paper question. Here it is. Now the higher purchase price for a refrigerator is 6,000 what? $500. A deposit of $500 is made and the remainder is paid in equal monthly payments, of $250. Calculate the number of monthly payments that must be made. Hmm. Sound like something that we did before? Yes. And part 2, if the cash price is $4,000, expressed as a percentage of the cash price, the extra cost of buying on hire purchased. Now note the students, if you can get the answer to both these two parts of this question, then guess what? You know you're on the right what? Track. Yes, wouldn't you agree? Exactly. But guess what? If you didn't get the answers correct, don't stop trying until you find out how to get the answers correct and where you made your mistake. If you follow the instructions given to you in this lesson, trust me, the worksheet will be SOPs. Very easy. Okay? Good. Answer time. Did you get this one? 24? If you didn't, try again. Did you get 62.5%? And if you did, give yourself a clap. And if you didn't, don't feel any way. Try again. Now, we're on simple interest, the second and last part of this lesson. You want to take a water break? I think you should take a water break and go and drink some water and come back. Okay. Are you back so quick? Okay, let's continue now. Alright, listen carefully and watch. Borders look good enough. I need this plot of land. But guess what? I don't have the money to pay for it. So guess what I need to do? I need to borrow some money from the bank. Bank of banks.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
I need a loan to buy a land.
Aha. How much do you need, sir?
I need $200,000.
Okay, sir. We ask for 8.5% interest rate per annum.
Excuse me. How long will I have to pay off this loan?
Wait, so like you're getting hungry? 3 and a quarter year.
Guys, I need to make a decision. But first I must calculate the amount I have to pay back that bank. Well, from little math that I know, the amount is equal to what? Principal plus interest. You might be asking what is the principal? No, it's not the principal of your school we're talking about here. Well, the principal is the amount I need to borrow. You might be asking what is the interest? Hmm. Well, the interest is the amount the bank earns on the money they loan me or the money them are give me. Now where? No, sorry. Now here is how you calculate the interest. You have to calculate the interest first, you know. Multiply the interest rate per annum by the principal. Note the following. Principal equal $200,000 and interest rate per annum equal 8.5%. Well, here's the $200,000, which is the what? The money where me want to borrow, which is the principal. You're going to divide that by them 8.5%, sir. Right? Good. So you can work out that part first now. 200,000 times 8.5. Then, you know what that line mean? Yes, it means to divide by 100. So you way to know. Take your calculator and work out this part on the piece of land me want, man.
8.5 interest rate.
Just have to think about that. Gosh, man. Come back and work it out, yeah? Note, that's the interest rate for 1 year, you know. Can you imagine me giving the bank $17,000 for 1 year? Yes, man, only 1 year. And how long you say we pay it?
3 and a quarter.
It does a ring in my ears.
3 and a quarter.
Ringing in my ears. Jeez. Anyway, that is how you work out the interest for 1 year. You multiply the principal by the 8.5, what then say, and you divide that the answer there by 100, and you get the interest for 1 year. Now that's for 1 year now. Alright. So let's now find the interest for
3 and a quarter.
Lord, you're ringing on my ears. So let's now find the interest for 3.25 years. Hmm. You saw why me gone? The interest for 3.25 years is, well, multiply the interest for 1 year by the time given. Time equal what? 39 months. Well, you want to know me get the 39 months? Remember, you know, 1 year is 12 months and 3 12 is 36. And 36 and quarter half 12 is what? 3. So when you add 36 to 3, you get what? 39. Yes, man, the countryman like me know that. You should have know it too. Well, first find the interest for 1 month, then multiply that by what? 39. So, look and pay attention how me do it. Remember the interest? $1,700. That's for 1 year. I'm going to divide this now by the 12. Because what? 12 months make 1 year. I'm going to need to find for one what? 1 month first. But notice, yes, when you go to the bank and them give this 3 year and a fraction, you have to go break it down to months first. You understand? So if you find for 1 month, you can find for 39 months. Alright, so the interest up at the top here, so must be divided by the number of months, so I make 1 year. So what the answer equal to? Good. Did you get that one? Yes, man. $1,416.67. Now can you imagine? At that me have to give the bank of banks per month. So guess what now? So this is the amount that you have to pay per month. Not per year, no. Per what? Per month. Good. So you're going to multiply this amount, which is the amount for 1 month. So $1,416.67 is for 1 month. And we're going to multiply that by 39 to find it for the what? Yes, man. No, that's the interest for the time given. G's and P's. $55,250.13. Boy, money blind me. Alright. So that's the amount. That's the interest alone. That is not the amount that I should give them. That is what they take from me. Plus what they give me. So see it now. Alright. So the amount is the principal, where they call the loan, and how much may they borrow? $200,000 plus the interest. Now this amount where they make as profit, where they call interest, but it's profit. So when you add these two, the principal plus the interest, you'll get the amount what? Occurring, then call it. So $200,000 plus $55,250.13, which is 13 cents. And that is equal to $255. $255. Why me can't even call it? Jeez, me can't even call it. So it big man. $255,000. $250.13. Now that is the amount me have to give back this wretched bank of banks. Yes, man. And guess what? In the next lesson, you will learn how they rob you, for them interest rate on your money is very, very low. Alright. But we still have to make a decision, don't it? Good. Now, remember the following. Simple interest is equal to principal times what? Interest rate per annum times time. So that is how we find the simple interest. Remember the principal, which was $200,000, and the interest rate, which was 8.5, sir. 8.5%, sir. And the time, which was 3.25 here. That is how you find the simple interest, they call it. Now the amount occurring was the principal plus the what? Interest. And the principal is the same $200,000 plus the $55,250.13. So simple interest is equal to principal times interest rate per annum times time. An amount occurring, or occurrent, if you want to call it, is equal to principal plus interest. Now you need to remember those. What else you need to remember? Now, when you're reading those questions, loans, investment, and deposits are all principals. So when I say loan, investment, deposit, they're all what? Principals. Good. What else you need to remember? You need to remember how to find the principal. And that is equal to 100 times simple interest. This line means to what? Divide by rate times time. So to find the principal, you got to use this 100 here, multiply it by the simple interest that they give you in the question, then the little number them give you beside the percentage sign, that is called the rate. You're going to multiply that by the time that they give you. So you work out this part first, you work this part second, and then you divide the answer for this part by this part. Good. What else you need to remember? Now, to find the interest rate, you need to multiply 100 by the simple interest given in the question, divide the answer by the principal times the what? Time. Good. So you're going to use the information given in the question to find the interest rate. What does you need to remember? Now, to find the time in years must be equal to 100 times what? Simple interest given in the question times the principal times the rate given in the question. So remember, all this information here is given in the question. Good. So it's 100 times simple interest divided by principal times rate. Very good. Ta-da! We're going to now do the try this question. Are you ready for it? Yes, man. You're ready for it, man. Let's go. Mrs. Lord borrowed $100,000 from a bank at simple interest rate 8% per annum for 3 years. Now notice the information given in the question. A. What amount is the simple interest payable? Meaning, how much you going to pay back. Part B. Calculate the amount occurring for a loan. Remember how you find the amount to be paid? Yes, ma'am. And part C, not A, determine the amount of each monthly installment. So remember that this part is supposed to be C. Now pause the video or pause your video at this moment and try this question. Hint. Follow the hint, you know. Draw a picture of Mrs. Lord at the bank. At the bank. And let her speak to the teller, this time using the information given. Yeah, man. Make up a comic strip. Trust me. Try it and see if it works for you. And please tell me how it worked. Are you ready for the answers? Yes, let's go. A is $24,000. Did you get that? If you got that, give yourself a CDP Maths Lab clap. Part B, $124,000. And part C, $3,444.44. So those are your answers for the try this question. Now note, if you had gotten any of these answers incorrect, you know the drill. You simply need to what? Replay the video. See, don't even go back to your. Some of you would turn back to the your notebook, but guess what? If you go back to your notebook, maybe you had written off something incorrectly. Maybe you while you were writing your notes, you weren't listening, you weren't paying attention to what was being said to you or taught to you by the video. So simply, when I say go back to the video, I mean return to the video. I mean rewind to the example that will teach you how to answer the try this question and then see where you went wrong. Remember, a wise man or woman listens and increase learning. Try this question number 2. The simple interest on a sum of money invested for 6 months at 5% per annum is $16,800. Determine the amount of money invested. Remember this? When we talk about what you need to remember, you need to go back to that. Part B. The simple interest on $85,000 invested for 6.5 years is $38,675. Calculate the rate percent per annum. Part C. The simple interest on $54,000 invested at 8.75% per annum For part C, if you notice something was missing from the question, so it should read the simple interest on $54,000 invested at 8.57% per annum is 8.75%, per annum is $18,900. So one, you are given the simple interest, you are given the amount invested, you are given the interest rate. So guess what you needed to find? You need to find the what? Time. So you need to calculate the time given to pay off this interest. So pause your video at this moment and try this question. Ready for the answer? Our answers rather? The first one, $672,000. Part B, 7%. And part C, 4 years. So, if you got all these answers correct, give yourself a CDP Maths Lab clap. But if not, guess what? Take the CDP Maths Lab instruction and replay your video to examples relating to these strategy questions, and guess what? You find your mistake, improve upon your mistake, and guess what? You can go to your worksheet. Please do enjoy the rest of the day. So now we have come to the end of another CDP Maths Lab Teaching and Learning Center. I'm going to ask you this time, please do follow each instruction given to you in this lesson on your second time of watching, and then you do your worksheet. This lesson was created by Ronique Bernard and recorded by
the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And though these are days of great trials, of famine and darkness and sword, still we are the voice in the desert, crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. These are the days of Elijah.
Welcome to another CDP Mathematics video tutorial, your one-to-one tutor, brought to you by Ronique Bernard. Instructions. This lesson was not designed for entertainment. It was designed to be interactive, so therefore, we're asking you to follow each instruction given to you by the tutor. If not, this video will be very useless to you and boring. So please follow each instruction. Remember to do all the try this questions before starting your worksheet. Yes, okay, our lesson for this evening will be based on consumer arithmetic. Once again, lesson number 3. Guess what, guys? Last week I knew you had some form of difficulty. When I spoke to some of you, you were, telling me that it was hard, etc. But guess what? You have to do what we call the matching principle. In other words, you got to look at the example and look at the question that you're doing and see the similarities, and then you see if that example will help you with that question, especially with the CXC questions. Secondly, you got to look and listen. And I would advise you to watch this lesson first without writing any notes at all. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to watch the lesson, look and listen to the examples being shown. Then, when you reach to try this question, you're going to pause the video once again, write off the question, and then you follow the example that was given to you. So don't write down the example. Just try to remember what was shown and what was what said. So you do this for the entire lesson as we are starting now, and then the second time around when you watch this lesson, all you need to do, you can pass this part of the lesson right here, and then you can start beginning to write your notes, etc. And then the third time you watch it, then you just relax and enjoy the lesson, and then you go straight to your worksheet. I promise you that this time you should not have any difficulty. But guess what? For those my fans out there, guess what I want to tell you this time? You, I would like for you to make sure that your teacher knows the answers to your worksheet before you come to class. So you call Mr. Bernard for the answers, tell him your answers, and if any of them are incorrect, you simply return to me, your video tutor, and I will once again tell you what you missed. So watch the video, follow the instructions on your worksheet. Let's go. On your mark, get set, go. Now, CSEC objectives. Students should be able to 1. Solve problems involving compound interest, appreciation, and depreciation. Number 2. Solve problems involving measures and money. Yes, money. Solve problems involving salaries and wages. And guys, you got to pay your bills because guess what? The CDP Maths Lab has to pay their teachers. Yeah, yeah. I know you're laughing, right? Good. Now, first up, compound interest. Do you know what this is all about? Yes, I got to tell you something. Some persons was mixing up simple interest with interest rate. Now remember, simple interest is the amount of money that was made on something, or the amount of money that the bank earned, the amount of money that you earned on your investment. Now the interest rate is a percentage of what you had invested, or the percentage of what you have what borrowed. So please don't mix them up again. All right, let's go. Now we're going to use a comic strip approach to teach this lesson. So you got to listen and read and look at what's happening. So relax, don't be nervous, just relax, take a deep breath. Let's go. Ready? Do you have my money? Do you have the money for my land? I really need to invest it. I have transferred it to your account, Alicia. Good morning, miss. How may I help you? Can you tell me how much is in my account, please? Your name, please? Alicia Edmondson. Okay, you have $200,000. Okay, I would like to invest that amount on compound interest over 3 years. Okay, Our interest rate is 6% per annum. Hmm. Well, I wonder how much money would that be? Please write these steps down. Okay, now she wants to find out how much money would she get after 3 years after investing $200,000 as as her investment using the compound interest, not the simple interest this time, but the what? Compound interest. Now, what first step you're going to do, you're going to use the formula to find the simple interest for 1 year. So you're going to use now the $200,000 as the principal rather. Now note in lesson number 9, you were taught how to calculate the interest for 1 year. So you're going to use a simple interest formula to find the interest for the first year. So pause your video now, use your calculators, and find the interest. Okay? And remember, the interest rate that the bank uses is 8%. All right, so you're going to use 8% in your calculation as the interest rate. Did you get $16,000 as the interest? Now, you're going to calculate the amount in the account at the end of the first year. You remember how to do that? Now, the amount basically equals the what? Principal plus interest. So you have just found the interest, which should be $16,000, and then you're going to add it to the principal, which was $200,000, and then you'll be able now to calculate the amount in the account at the end of the first year. Did you get $216,000 as the amount? Okay, if you didn't get any of those two answers, I would advise you to pause the video now, return to your notes that you have recorded in the last lesson, and see where you went wrong before you go any further into this lesson. Do not give up, my fellow friends. Do not give up. Next step, use the amount at the first year as the new principal. So you're going to do the second step now. So the new principal now will be what? 216 what? $1,000. So the first principal was 200,000. Now the new principal is what? $216,000. Then you're going to use the simple interest formula to find the interest for the second year. So your principal now is $216,000, which you'll be multiplying by what? 8%. Now you're not going to use 2 years or 3 years. You just use what? One. So it should be you should have 216,000 times 8% times 1 to find the interest on this new principal for the second year. Did you get $17,280 as the interest? Now you're going to calculate the amount in the account at the end of the second year. Note that you're going to use the new principal and the interest you just got to find the amount in the account at the end of the second year. All right? So go ahead now and do that. Did you get $233,280 as the amount? Okay. If your answer to our question is yes, then you're on the right track. Note now, that's the amount for the second year. So you have a new amount, which is you have a new principal to go into the what? Third year. So guess what now? So the next step now is to use the amount at the end of the second year as the what? New principal. So yes, every year you have a new principal using in your calculation, but the same interest what? Rate. So what you're going to find now is the third interest using the simple interest what? Formula to find the interest for the third year. So once again, your new principal is $233,280, which must be multiplied by 8% and multiplied by what? 1. Did you get $18,662.40 as the interest? Well, once again, if you got that incorrect, I'd advise you to go back to your notes as to how to use the simple interest formula, or repeat the video and listen carefully to what was said. Now calculate the amount in the account at the end of the third year. Note that you're going to use the new principal and the interest you just got. And yes, did you get $251,942.40 as the amount? If you did, of course, give yourself a clap. Note, you should have used the 8% interest rate at all times for each calculation of the interest for 1 year. Well, read the notice below. If you got the answer correct each time, it means you can use the compound interest formula. So what you basically did was just to use a compound interest formula, meaning you have an amount investing for a period of time at an interest rate. So each year you have a new what? Principal by adding the interest for 1 year to the older principal as you go along. So if you look at your paper now or your notebook, you basically have carried out the steps in using the compound interest formula. And depreciation is the same formula, only you would subtract interest each time. In other words, instead of adding the interest to the principal, you would subtract the interest from the principal to get a what? New principal, because the value keep going what? Down. And then now, for appreciation, you keep adding the interest each time to get a new what? Principal. And that's it for compound interest. Now note, to calculate the compound interest now for the 3 years, you need to add up all the interest for each year found. Now do that. Alright, so the compound interest is different from the amount or the compound amount. So to find the compound interest once again, you simply add the interest for the first year, add the interest for the second year, and add the interest for the third year to get the compound interest. Did you get $51,942.40? Well, yes, if you got that correct, certainly you're ready for your try this question. Calculate the compound interest earned and the amount occurring when $10,000 is invested at 8% per annum for 3 years. So if you follow the instructions in the example given before, then you should be able to do this, try this question. And it continues. Now, you're awaiting the answers, but guess what? You need to pause the video and calculate the compound interest and the amount at the end of the 3 years. So pause the video and do that now. Answers. So the compound interest, which is CI, should equal to $2,597.12. Yes, this answer is correct. And the amount, which is A, is equal to what? $12,597.12. Now, once again, if you got these answers incorrect or any of these answers incorrect, please return to the example given before and redo the example, and then you return to the try these questions and see if you get the answers. Now, once again, this amount, the $12,597.12, is relating to the amount occurring. How you should have gotten that is actually adding the interest to the principal. All right? And basically following the method that you did before. So basically now the amount occurring is relating to this figure right there. Very good. So if you did well in answering these questions, give yourself a clap, a CDP Maths Club clap. Of course, you know we would not miss in giving you this past paper question. Mistress White or Mrs. White bought a computer on the 1st of January 1996 at a cost of $4,260 in Barbados. Barbados dollars, so you have Jamaican dollars, we're referring to Barbadian dollars. Given that the value of the computer depreciated by 20% each year, meaning that what? The value is going down. And as I told you before, that each time you should subtract the interest from the principal, and then that amount will become your new principal, and then you continue the process. And then now you're asked to calculate in Barbados dollars the value of the computer at the end of 1997. So pause your video now and do this past paper question. Answer: $2,726.40. If you got this answer correct, guess what? You're on your way in doing very well in the 2010 exams. But if you didn't get it correct, you know what you got to do. Do not leave this question alone. Just try something. Try something else. If you did one thing that didn't work, try another thing. But remember, the principle behind this question is compound interest. Now, the second part of a lesson, measures and money. Good. And trust me, we don't love money. We just love to what? Teach. But you got to pay the bills so we can operate the system. Western Union. Do you know this place? Ah. How many of you have been to Western Union before? Yeah, this is supposed to be an N. Western Union. Good morning, miss. How may I help you? I need 100 US dollars. Your name, please? Veronique. Okay, the exchange rate is 1 US dollars to 89 Jamaican dollars. How much is that? Well, that would be 8,900 Jamaican dollars. 900 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 Jamaican How did he get that amount? Well, the answer is to convert from the bigger value to the smaller value, you multiply. Now note, the bigger value normally is, looking at the exchange rate now, this is the exchange rate. So the bigger value normally has a lower numerical number. So in this case, 1 is lower than what? 89. So if it says 1 US to 89 Jamaican dollars, the bigger value is the US currency. Good? And the smaller value normally carries a bigger numerical what? Number. So this is the smaller value.